Julie Gunlock is with us. Hey, Julie, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
I'm absolutely fighting the war on food freedom.
Yeah, always.
Fighting for the side of food freedom, we should note as well.
Yes,
not fighting to tell you what should be on your plate.
Yes, I'm not going to tell you how you should eat.
Is this the? Is there a certain time of year when the food nannies come out? Are they? Is it right before the holidays? Do they feel the need to?
Yeah, they come out
us?
a lot. Yes, that's a good point. They come out a lot around holidays, and as you know, a lot of holidays call for food: Halloween, candy.
Right. Are we about to get it for Valentine's Day? Are we about to get a bunch of messages? If you love someone, don't give them chocolate.
They don't do it as much around. I've found around
because they know
Day.
Their message fails.
Because that's all. Also, that's not a
when stacked up against truffles.
Yes, and that's not a holiday generally directed at children. I mean, children give out. Although I have noticed. I mean, back in the day, we used to give candy, and now schools don't do that. You know.
You can't give candy.
Well, I've never tested the waters on that. I have never sent
the little hearts with the.
Yeah, my son has come home with some, but that's in the preschool. But in the public school, no, they generally just come home with the little card, the little heart card.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to send some. You need to send
so I don't know if
there's.
I haven't seen. But I should say I haven't seen an actual ban on that. But I suspect it's frowned upon.
Wow.
You know.
All the more reason.
Very true. Very true.
All right. Now, we had a story that came up earlier this week, by the way, and I thought of you in Isle of Wight County, Virginia. Right along with the food freedom, I know you are also big on property rights and being able to do your own thing, right? So the guy has an 86-acre farm, and he likes to hunt on his farm, and he has friends over to hunt occasionally. A disabled veteran friend came to visit, didn't want to impose on the landowner, so he came in his RV, hooked up the RV to the electricity and the water, stayed for a couple nights, went hunting. Somebody complained about this to the county, and the county said to the homeowner, "You're setting up an illegal campground, sir."
Stop.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think you're doing? Why this RV is it's either a hotel and you're setting up a domicile where people can stay, or this is a campground and this is a business. No, they're trying to tell this guy that he can't invite friends to stay on his farm in their RV.
Every time I think I cannot be shocked anymore.
Isn't this amazing?
That is amazing.
In Virginia.
In Southern Virginia.
Isle of Wight County.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Don't you wonder the thought process that goes through this sort of government official when they get these complaints, that they don't say, what is wrong with people? I mean, they actually thought it was worthy an investigation, a letter to this person, that they don't just use a little common sense and sort of dismiss these. And also, who is the person who complains about this? I mean, what kind of madness makes someone complain about something like that?
Yeah.
It is, I think, really disturbing when you consider it's not just government nannying. We've become a society of nannies, where we feel, and I think part of this is because the government does it, and so then people sort of feel the right, sort of citizen arrest, the right to, not just pass judgment, but actually try to get people in trouble. I have a friend who renovated a home, which was pretty much, it was a house in very bad condition. It needed a lot of repair. And she and her husband spent, thousands of dollars to repair this. And it improved the neighborhood. It was helping. It lifted everyone's.
And the red tape.
And they put in the wrong windows. And a neighbor complained, and they were threatened with a fine. They had to remove the windows and put in some sort of city-approved window. But I mean, the idea, she was so depressed about this because the idea that a neighbor would then punish them after they had helped to improve the neighborhood. So this isn't just in country, in the country. This happens in cities, obviously.
Absolutely. I lived and I rented in a neighborhood with an HOA, and I drove crazy. And my friend Marshall Manson always said, I don't like HOAs, which is why I ran for the board and became the president of the HOA, because I don't like HOAs. And so it's a great way of thinking.
Yeah.
When you rent, you're kind of, hindered.
Yeah.
So now I can walk out my front door and say, I am my HOA. But it's an illusion. See, I mean, it still doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that your neighbor or someone who doesn't like you
Yeah.
Can't try to mess with you.
Yeah.
All right, listen, on food news, at Forbes.com, Hank Cardello, who's a senior fellow
Yep.
at the Hudson Institute, says that there's a big shot in the simmering war between the food industry and its attackers, a anti-food industry documentary called Fed Up.
Yep.
Have you heard about this?
I have.
Have you had a
I've
chance
not
to
seen it.
see
It's actually being screened. It was screened last week at Sundance, or this past weekend, and so
Right.
it's not actually been released into theaters yet. This is a documentary narrated by Katie Couric, where she basically, of course, tells the nation that the food industry is sort of out to get us. It's
Right.
pumping sugar and other toxins into the food, into the American food supply, and we're all prisoners to what is being fed to us.
And apparently, as Hank Cardello says, it also paints the U.S. government, including First Lady Michelle Obama, as complicit.
Yes.
In this.
Yes, it does. This is kind of interesting. And actually, we have a blog up on IWF.org. One of our senior fellows, Abby Schechter, actually wrote about this today, where she talks about how, look, this is really fascinating when you have Katie Couric on one side and criticizing Michelle Obama for dealing with the food industry, for trying to come to agreements and arrangements with the food industry. She says that the suggestion is that it's Michelle Obama is talking to the enemy. The movie Fed Up also claims school lunches continue to be junk food. Now, this is not, I don't disagree, but it is interesting to see Katie Couric, who you would think would do nothing but praise the First Lady, be part of a film that actually, takes quite a few swipes at the First Lady. And the truth is, they're right. On this front, on school lunches, they're right. But what's really too bad about Fed Up is that there's a new report by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation that's come out that says the food industry has removed billions of calories from the marketplace. So they've done that in a variety of ways. They've offered more products with lower calories. They've removed higher calorie products, and so they're just giving people more choices, and they're improving the nutrition content of some foods. What
To that, well, I was just going to say, to that end, when we were out at SHOT Show, a lot of big. It's very possible to gain a lot of weight in Las Vegas.
It's like being
when
at a
you're there
cruise on a
for
cruise.
week. And so I very much tried not to do that and watched what I ate. And so there was one restaurant that I ate that had the calories on the side of the menu, and I noticed they were all very under 400 calories.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be full. I was really surprised actually at how good a job they did in serving this. So there is a conscious effort to do this.
I mean,
and it's working.
The food nannies will deny that the food industry is doing anything to try to help improve the nutrition content of the food out there.
Or they will say, well, they're only doing it because of us, and so therefore we need to ramp it up.
And actually, I mean, most polling on people say they want more nutritious habits, whether they choose to actually go that way. And I mean, food manufacturers also, people might say they want healthier food, but they're still buying the less nutritious items. But the point is that the food industry is definitely trying to improve the quality of the food out there. The food nannies, again, this is a report by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Okay, this is a left-leaning organization that says that the food industry has indeed removed billions of calories from the marketplace. Instead of applauding them and applauding the food industry, the food nannies continue to say, well, not enough. It's not enough. You actually have to remove items from the, you can't just lower the calorie. You have to remove all bad things from the marketplace. Fed Up is part of that narrative. It's trying to bash the food industry. It's trying to say that they're not doing enough. They're poisoning Americans. Typical hysterical kind of language coming out from the food nannies. But again, very interesting that Michelle Obama is in fact criticized for what they consider her role in actually continuing the obesity problem in America. Kind of an interesting little battle to watch there.
It is. That's I'm never hesitant to talk about these issues, but I'm always very aware that man, there are a lot of sides and a lot of passionate voices on these issues, and I'm not a passionate advocate for one side or the other. I just sort of sit back and I want to grow my own vegetables and raise my own bacon and
and be left alone
and eat be left alone and leave you alone too.
Right.
All right, Julie Gunlock. Thank you so much for coming in. Always good talking to you.
Thanks.
And when Fed Up comes out, Let's go see it.
No.
Let's get a big tub of popcorn.
That would be no, and big gulps
and big gulps
and candy.
and movie theater butter, right?
Yeah, I don't like that butter stuff.
All right. Well, then I'll get some
That's
for
fine.
me.
We'll get 2 buckets.
There you go.
We'll
All
each
right.
have one.
All right. We'll see you there. Julie Gunlock of the Independent Women's Forum with us here on NRA News, Cam and Company.